r/AskReddit by LaughWithMEmes. What is a question you posted on AskReddit you really wanted to know, but wasn't upvoted enough to be answered? I asked people what the most heartwarming thing their teacher said was, but nobody commented. Okay, this is a moment that will always bring tears to my eyes. From my taekwondo instructor years ago, close street thing I have. So my brother and I joined together before our teen years, and when my brother was 16 he was in a life-altering car accident. From being in a coma to being told he may need both legs amputated to maybe only one leg. The legs will recover, but he probably won't walk again. After just 3 months I returned home and resumed training while he was still in rehab. Anyway, he got sent home early and he wanted to surprise me by coming to class and picking me up. My instructor is in the middle of a pep talk when he notices me looking past him in awe. He turns and looks at the door, does a double take, and just looks back at me all red-faced and with a huge genuine smile, looking like he too was about to cry, and said, "Sorry class, I have just been distracted by something incredible." My brother had walked in on crutches against all our expectations, but it was knowing that my instructor was so emotionally affected by this too that made me cry. What kind of old person do you think you'll be? Get off my lawn. I'll feel like Clint Eastwood, but actually be way less badass. I don't know why, but I have a strong feeling I will die before I reach an old age. But I will probably sit in my chair all day, get irritated from fireworks at New Year's Eve, be a grumpy Christmas grandpa, and yell at kids who knock on my door when it's Halloween. I actually wanted to know what kinds of jobs people originally wanted, but couldn't, and why they gave up on it. I'm really close to that age where we'd get forced to pick where we wanted to go in life, and I was hoping to get some sort of insight from actual working adults, so I don't get disappointed. A bit sad, I'll be honest. Why do people who are not chefs keep their recipes a secret? Grandma wants to feel important. Let her have her thing. Can I have the recipe? I refuse to give out recipes to people out of pettiness or spite. I have a few relatives who have insulted things I've made and then asked for the recipe when others have praised the dish. I tell them it's a secret family recipe from the other side of the family, so sorry. Other than that, I'm not sure. I'd make a guess that if it's their specialty or something maybe they don't want to share, because then others would make it and it wouldn't become just their thing. If you could bring one historical figure to the present, who would it be and what would you show him/her? I only got 3 replies, one of which was your mom, my dick. I sort of would like to do something like the Doctor did in the Van Gogh episode of Doctor Who when he brought Vincent into the future, so into our present, and took him to the Louvre to show him how famous and impactful his paintings had become. I wanted to know what it's like having a family member who was on reality TV and the aftermath. I still do. A friend of mine from college was on Big Brother. I'm a huge fan of the show, and I was pretty excited for him cause I wanted to ask him all sorts of questions about being inside the BB house. Then he got voted out in the first episode due to circumstances mostly beyond his control. He didn't even get a chance to spend a single night there. Kinda killed my enjoyment of the show. What it's like to go through a tornado. Many of these questions sound interesting. It's a shame they didn't go far. Surreal. Seriously. Don't know how else to describe the collective hours-long sensations of being in a car trying to outrun a tornado and seeing 2 of them behind you. I was a kid. We had just left a restaurant and were on the highway when the sirens went off, and my dad decided that driving away from the funnels was our best bet. Then, thinking it was all over and heading back home, amidst still downpouring rain and occasional flashes of lightning that provided irregular illumination of pristine undamaged homes, spaced between stretches of total destruction. Then getting near your house and seeing that, nope, it wasn't over, because you are now watching the roof of your house come up and off and just disappear. Surreal. Not scary. No, the force of nature is awe-inspiring vibe. It was just insane chaos that didn't seem real. Grew up in Tornado Alley and was driving when a tornado touched down only a mile away. I didn't have the radio on and I was in the country, so I didn't hear the siren/warning. However, you do develop a sense. Tornadoes have a smell to them, believe it or not. I can't really explain the smell very well, except to call it earthy. And you learn what to look for in the sky too. Certain colors, certain cloud shapes, certain light patterns. Again, I can't really explain it, except to say that if you've seen enough tornadoes you just know. So, when I caught the smell and saw the sky, I turned the radio on to check the news, and it was telling people in the area that I was in to take immediate shelter. Except shit, I was driving. What they tell you to do if you're driving is to get out and lay face down in the nearest ditch while covering the back of your head, so I did. The craziest part to me is that you can feel the change in pressure. And right before the craziness starts, it's eerily silent. It also got strangely bright compared to the darkening in the rest of the sky. Then, there was suddenly a downpour, small hail that pelted me, and the sound. Oh my god, the sound. Even a mile away, it was so loud that I couldn't hear anything else. And it was terrifying. What chance do you stand laying in a ditch when you've seen tornadoes raze whole towns? It only lasted 10 to 15 minutes, but it felt like hours. Then, the noise died down, it got strangely bright again, and the rain stopped. It was over. I got back in my car and kept driving, and passed a farm a mile away that was just completely decimated. If I hadn't had that sense, I'd have been done. So, I also had to stop and say a prayer. It's a humbling experience, for sure. Bartenders of Reddit, what was the oddest order you've ever received? I bartend myself, and my answer would be soda water with whipped cream. My husband once wasn't feeling well at a restaurant and ordered a ginger ale. The waitress gave him a strange look and brought back a drink that turned out to be some unholy combo of gin and ale. We don't know if she misheard him or didn't know what ginger ale was, but I wonder what that bartender thought. Serious answer, I asked police officers if dealing with dangerous criminals had affected their day-to-day outlook on personal security out of uniform. I was curious if being face-to-face with criminals had caused them to do anything differently than as civilians. I was curious if they were more likely to be diligent about door locks, or if they gave more thought to the customers when they entered restaurants, stuff like that. For some reason the question just disappeared after I pressed submit. I couldn't find it with any sorting order. I wish someone with more karma/skill than me would post it to AskReddit. My stuff keeps getting eaten by hamsters or something. There are a lot of current and former police officers on my fiancé's side of the family. They definitely are super diligent about personal safety. Not in a super intense way, in a very diligent, but still reasonable way. I don't know if that's from the job or their personalities or both. I imagine it's at least partially the job. Two are now retired and don't like being around people anymore. Asked how people coped with grief after a close friend died. A few people answered, but I wish it was more 6 months later and still struggling at times. Edit, thanks for all the replies. Working through them now, and I appreciate all the kind words and advice. Definitely made me cry, and it's really touched me how many people shared their stories. Thank you. The answer nobody likes to hear, time. It's the only thing that helped. I felt like I was in a daze after I lost a close friend. It was 2 or 3 days before I ate anything. I still didn't know what to do with myself. I would sit and stare off into space or lie there and fall asleep. Eventually I got to the point where I was turning on the TV and sitting in front of it, but paying no attention to what was going on. Slowly I started actually watching a little. My family and friends helped too, by either distracting me or talking about it. Now it's been 5 years, and I still miss her, but it's easier than it was. I don't think about her every single day anymore. I felt guilty about it at first, but I realized that I needed a break, otherwise I'll just be miserable. Time was the only thing that could actually heal. What stopped people on the edge of committing suicide? Or who? Going through a rough time right now. Edit, thank you for the many replies. Been bawling my eyes out at you guys' kindness. It had been a really dark time for me, this means a lot. No shit, my roommate made pizza. He knocked on my door and said made some zap. Come get it. And I did. I wanted to kill myself when I was 15 and sort of decided to on a very built up whim. Took a ton of aspirin BCI Reddit thinned the blood and was planning to just slice up my wrists vertically too. I did research. But I was in the bathroom getting ready to do it, and I guess I wanted my cat to be there, so I wasn't alone. She immediately started freaking out and meowing her head off, pacing in circles. I ended up calling my mom and hugging my cat really hard. BC, if she was that freaked out, then how was my family going to react? I still have my cat today. She's 13 now and is still my best friend. What is the one thing you recommend everyone to try? Edit. Appreciate the replies. Thank you all flying. Most people don't know, but you can go to a flight school and get a free 30 minutes discovery flight. Why not go fly a small plane today? Please like and subscribe for more. This is Laugh with Memes. Goodbye.